Hello everyone. I am Minu, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Christu Jayanti College. Today we will be discussing a thought-provoking interview that is titled "How to Think About Empire," featuring the celebrated Indian writer and activist Arundhati Roy. So this particular interview gives us deep insights into Arundhati Roy's political stance, her understanding of empire and colonial legacies, and it also addresses her critiques of modern state repression and her reflections on the role of the writer in times of censorship. Arundhati Roy is the author of The God of Small Things and The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. She is not only a novelist but also a vocal critic of state violence, neoliberalism, and imperialist narratives. So the key topics that we are going to discuss today are Arundhati Roy on the idea of empire. That's the first argument. So according to Roy, she sees empire not as a relic of the past but as a continuing system of domination. And she refers to modern empires, especially the United States, that maintain their influence through military, economic, and cultural means. So according to Roy, India too is becoming an empire internally, especially through its treatment of Kashmir, Dalits, and Adivasis. So empire has not entered, it has just been privatized. That's a major argument that she is telling. And what you can do is, you can think about how empire today looks different from the 19th century colonialism, yet it achieves similar sorts of control. And the next argument that she is making is her problem with the term post-colonialism. And she expresses her discomfort with the term post-colonial because it implies that colonialism is over. For her, the colonial structures persist in our economic policies, governance, language, and social hierarchies. So this particular term, post-colonial, masks the ongoing oppression, and it creates a kind of false sense of a rupture from the colonial past. And here what you can think is, can a country be considered truly post-colonial if colonial power structures still exist? And the third main argument that she is presenting is storytelling as resistance. And she emphasizes that storytelling is a political act. It's not just an aesthetic function. And she believes that fiction can uncover the truths that journalism or academic writing sometimes cannot. Her novels blend the personal and the political, and it tries to bring the reader into emotional contact with injustice. And the famous quote that she has used is, "The place for literature is built by the society. If we don't build it, it won't exist." And the major fourth argument that she talks about is censorship and freedom. And she speaks about how writers and journalists in India are increasingly being censored and persecuted. And she notes the rise of surveillance, state intimidation, and the chilling effect this has on free expression. Despite all these pressure, she urges writers to remain defiant. The only real censorship now is self-censorship. And now let's look at Arundhati Roy's style and approach. So her language is poetic, evocative, and it is razor sharp. And the metaphors that she is using, irony, and even storytelling, even in her political commentary, she used this narrative technique. And her voice definitely challenges both the mainstream narratives and the intellectual complacency. And to conclude that, let's say Arundhati Roy's reflection on how to think about empire that push us to definitely reconsider how we define the concept of freedom, nationhood, and literature. And her voice is truly one of resistance and moral clarity in an increasingly authoritarian world. And through this interview, we can see that writing is not just about aesthetics or entertainment, it is a form of political intervention. Thank you.